Welcome to Average Joe's. Today we're going to be trying to reproduce an epic match-winning shot by Shane Van Boening from the 2015 Mosconi Cup.
What? Team USA wins the last match of the day!
So let's take a look at the shot. So this is at the 2015 Mosconi Cup and it's 4-all in a race to 5, so all to play for. And Shane gets left with this possible long carom opportunity for the 9 ball into the bottom right hand corner. And of course Shane pulls off this amazing shot in one try, not only sinking the 9 to win the match but also dropping the 2 ball into the top pocket as well, just for good measure.
Nobody likes to show off.
So first of all, looking at the video, it looks like Shane is adding left-hand draw to the shot, and he has his cue a little elevated to help him get underneath the cue ball as it's quite close to the rail. And if you look at the position of the balls, this makes a lot of sense because he wants to carom off of the 2 into the 9, and there's quite a lot of distance between them, so that left-hand English will help bridge the gap. So can a mere mortal such as myself recreate this mighty shot? Well, let's find out. The first attempt actually turns out okay, with everything heading roughly in the right direction. Whereas attempt 2 is just awful, so let's ignore that one. Attempt number 3. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer on the 9. But then attempt 4 is another duffer.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
And for the 5th attempt, again, getting very close on that 9. Now attempt number 6 and things are definitely getting better. We're getting close on the 9 and the 2 ball is heading in the right direction. And attempt 7 is so bad, we better inform Batman.
Ugh, I don't need to know about that.
On my 8th attempt I try a little bit more left-hand English. And bang! I've just won the Mosconi Cup, baby! So is that job done? Well, unfortunately not.
What do you mean?
Although the 9 was sunk and the match would have been won, there were 2 other elements to Shane's shot that made it not only a good shot, but an outstanding shot.
Most outstanding.
So you'll see in my shot that although the 9 drops, the 2 ball does not travel back up into the top left-hand corner and get potted. Whereas for Shane, it rolls all the way back up and even manages to wrestle its way past the other 2 balls for the drop. Now for me, it doesn't have to be the 2 ball that drops, I'd settle for any 3 of those balls into that top corner pocket. But also watch the path of Shane's cue ball. It hits the 2 to the 9, but has a good combination of left English and draw, which brings the cue ball off of the side rail and back up towards the top left pocket. Ideally, I'd like to replicate the draw that Shane managed on that shot as well, but the minimum requirement for this shot definitely is to have the 2 balls into the opposite corners. So we need to keep on trucking. Full disclaimer on this, I spent around an hour shooting just this shot and I could not get it to work. I was able to get the 2 ball to take the correct path, but completely miss on the 9, or I could sink the 9 but then the 2 ball would take the wrong path, usually coming off the rail far too early and missing the balls in the top left pocket. And no matter what I did, I just couldn't get it to work, so that both of those things were happening together, even by varying the amount of draw and English. But here's by far my best attempt, which is pretty close. So in all, I had 78 attempts on this shot and still could not do it. As you could imagine, it was more than a little frustrating.
Okay, mercy, you win, I give, game over.
Still, as they say, every cloud has a silver lining, and I did manage to sink the 9 and almost sink the 2 into the side pocket several times. And I even managed to get both the 9 and the 2 into completely different pockets to Shane. Or better still, how about getting both the 9 and the 2 into the same pocket? Impossible, you say? Not for Average Joe.
Now how do you like them apples?
So anyway, flukes aside, I decide enough's enough, I'm going to leave it for today and come back tomorrow with a fresh mind.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, but it might be worse.
And as this shot kept going through my head, it started bugging me that maybe the ball positioning wasn't quite right. And as we all know, a good craftsman always blames their tools. So I went back to the video that I had of the shot and I made an overlay of the two tables in Photoshop, and the position of the balls looked pretty good, except for the 9, which was clearly way off. Now in the original video I had, it was from a clip compilation, so I didn't have an overhead shot. So I had a quick search around online and found a new video of the full shot, and I found this. So I grabbed that overhead shot and I put the target grids onto the image for reference, and this allowed us to set up the table far more accurately for day 2.
No retreat. No surrender.
So for my first attempts, I start shooting exactly as I did on the previous setup. Now I quickly noticed that the gap between the 2 and the 9 balls is effectively now much bigger than it was before, so my first shots are struggling to bridge that gap. But by attempt number 6, we're starting to hone it in and starting to get the right basic shape for the shot. And attempt number 8 drops the 9 ball off of 2 rails. That's a new one. How about lucky number 9? That'll be a no.
You can do it!
And for number 10, let's just drop it into the side pocket for the win. Or maybe not. And for number 11, the angles are too shallow on both balls. And what about number 12? Oh, it's so close. Maybe that was a touch too hard. Attempt number 13, unlucky for some. Well, that was definitely softer, still pretty close. Let's maybe split the difference. And attempt 14 with medium power. Nailed it. Now I'm pretty happy with that this time. Not only did I get the 9 into the bottom right, but also we got a ball into the top left. Plus, if you check out the path of the cue ball compared to Shane's, I pretty much nailed all 3 elements. I am the elemental master. But even with the balls repositioned correctly, it still took me 14 attempts. And you have to remember that Shane had the creativity not only to come up with this shot to begin with, but to nail it in one try. All that with the pressure of being 4-4 in a race to 5 in the Mosconi Cup. But I guess that's why he's a pro and I remain a lowly average Joe. Did you enjoy this video? If so, please hit the like button and the subscribe button so I can continue to bring you more great videos in the future. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel, then please get involved and leave a comment. As the sun sets slowly in the west, we wish you a fond farewell.
What? Team USA wins the last match of the day.